Right. All right, we got 3 people on. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Skyfall Blind Dreamer and Jake Hover.
Hello.
Say hi.
Oh, yeah. Just joining.
Yep. And this is my 17th Lucid Dreaming Q&A here on June 11th, 2021. Unless you're in the the Pacific or Europe, and in that case, it's June 12th. Anyway, welcome everyone. Whoever's actually watching right now, it shows 3 people. So welcome. For those of you who have not been here before, I doubt that's any of you guys. The way this works is I actually have a slow mode enabled, and that is to help me with handling large volumes of chat. I don't think we'll get that tonight, so it's down at 25 seconds. I mean, basically, it should take you more than 25 seconds to type out the average question anyway, so that's to prevent like really short messages and spam from being in the chat, from flooding the chat. Anyway, like, welcome everybody. If you have your lucid dreaming questions, go right on ahead and ask them. We're here to answer them. I don't think we've gotten any questions yet. Let's see. Computer time.
The time is 8:55 p.m.
Looks like I picked a great time to start streaming. What do you think? This is crazy.
Yeah, it's only 10:56 over here.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's already here.
Hello. Monty No Name.
Isn't that Mr.
Hello.
Mothman? I think so.
Is that? Yeah, by the way, if you could please start your questions with a capital letter. I know it's really archaic to use proper grammar these days, but it actually does help with my screen reader in like 98% of cases. If there's a capital letter and, at the very beginning, it'll differentiate, because what StreamYard is not doing right now, and what I really need to call and complain to them about, is they're not putting any space between the AM or PM in the time and the first letter of your thing. So it reads as PMA instead of PM and hey. PMA. It reads as PMA. That's actually what it says. PMA. That's what my screen reader says. But it's really you saying hey, but it's squished together with PM. Josh Wills, there are no dangers of lucid dreaming.
Yeah, definitely.
There aren't any. There's a lot of like scary YouTube stuff, like horror story, and that's basically like, it's basically clickbait. Basically like, get views type stuff. There aren't like any dangers to lucid dreaming. There are more dangers to walking. For the average person, there's more dangers to walking. I mean, you can walk out in the street and get hit by a car.
Although about lucid nightmares though, lucid nightmares, in my opinion, are just lucid dreams with the scary elements in it. You are still lucid. You can go what's called ignore or kill the scary elements. You can get rid of it.
You can interact with it or alter it or
Oh yeah.
My mindset on that. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm gonna work on this whole coordination thing. Anyway,
definitely.
My mindset is, if you're gonna have a nightmare, would you rather think everything that is horrible in the dream is actually happening to you in real life, or know that it's a dream, that you're safe in bed, and that none of that's real? Which would you rather have? I mean, that's sort of my argument with lucid
of course.
Yeah. I think the only people that lucid dreaming probably isn't good for, and this is more of like a psychologist thing, not really something I'm really, capable of talking about much, but it's people like who have issues with reality and like depersonalization, dissociation type stuff. That those type of people, that's very specific people who probably shouldn't mess with it, just because of that whole distinguishing reality kind of thing. There are specific mental disorders where that can be a case, but I'm not very familiar with all of them. I'm not licensed, obviously, but that would be like the main thing. But for the average Joe, no, there's really no issue with lucid dreaming.
Definitely.
Deathball, your YouTube name is complete unreadable by my screen reader. I'm gonna call you Mr. Unreadable. Hello, Deathball.
Yep, Mr. Mothman, knew it.
Yes, it is.
What? I was not British all along. Shut up, Mr. Mothman.
Don't tell me he's not British all along. The British people are still in bed. In fact, they're going to bed right now. If the late partiers are any indication, he's
telling if I'm not British.
Yeah. By the way,
Just look at my teeth.
if Africans moved to down under, would Australia be called Aussie land? That was a bad
Swaziland?
joke. Instead of Swaziland, that's an
Uh,
African country. There's an African country, Swaziland. So I was thinking Australia, Aussie land.
Damn. Well,
You guys done.
the geographical experts laughed at that. Like they
Yeah.
found that hilarious.
Yeah, they totally laughed at that after they saw a picture of my face.
Josh Will, what should I do if I get sleep paralysis? There is no technique can do sleep paralysis disorder.
The
You
likelihood
either
of you
get it or
getting
not.
sleep paralysis is like minuscule.
Mm,
It's not
yeah.
even worth considering, and there isn't any lucid dreaming method that requires or involves it or induces it.
Although you can actually get into lucid via sleep paralysis if you do get
If
sleep
you're someone who
paralysis
gets
often.
it, yeah, if you are.
Yeah.
By the way, Monty, if you think Jacover sounds English, you need to listen to English and Australian accents a little bit more. Just saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference. We're rednecks. You gotta listen
Yeah.
to like American rednecks, for example.
Like
Sound
if you were to
very
listen
more positive.
to a Southern accent, if you combined the American redneck Southern accent with a posh British accent, you'd get the Australian accent. That's sort of my view on it anyway. You guys sound like a British person went to Georgia and then got like a Southern British accent and then was dropped off on the Botany Bay. Like that seriously, this is what you guys kind of sound like. You guys kind of sound like you're the Brits, a Brit mingled with a Southerner, and then like created in Australia.
Yeah, my family thinks I have American accent, and I have actually one time got stalked by a few girls at school because they thought I had they thought I said something in Russian to them.
You remember you telling me that? That was what,
Yeah.
March? You said that maybe?
Oh yeah, it happened
February?
a while ago. It's crazy. How the hell do I have a Russian accent?
I don't know. Every time I try to do a Russian accent, it just doesn't come out right. Yes, I just can't really make it work.
It's crazy. Oh damn!
Let's see.
I wonder what people's reactions to these. Let's say.
Yeah, Josh, Will, if you have any more lucid dreaming questions, definitely happy to help. One thing I will go ahead and advise you on is that when it comes to lucid dreaming advice and information, the vast majority of what you're going to find in places like YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, I can't believe I said TikTok. Now I'm gonna die. But it's not very accurate. Let's be real. It's an understudied field in general, but this platform in general is more geared towards surface level knowledge, not in-depth knowledge in most cases. So what you're going to find is that the majority of content here in terms of lucid dreaming advice just isn't very accurate.
No, yeah. Definitely. I would say the Lucid FAQ is actually more. I would say Lucid FAQ is more of a beginner. It's way more into the beginner area than experts. It's got all the stuff you need to get started, but you can always find more information.
That's if you're on the Dream Cafe server. Keep in mind, I did post this link in 3 Discord servers. Most likely it's from Dream Cafe, but I did post the link in 3 different Discord servers. So it's not exclusive to Dream Cafe. But yeah, if you're on Dream Cafe, if I actually just go ahead and adopt it to the servers. If you're on Dream Cafe, the Lucid FAQ channel. If you're on OmniLucid, the resources channel. If you're on the Dreamville server, I joined to talk to folks on actually this morning at like 5:30 in the morning because I had nothing better to do and I hadn't gone to sleep yet because I was being crazy. The Dream Library channel is where you go for that. And actually, surprisingly, so you remember Astral Thunder? Jacob, do you remember him?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay. I got his doc.
Well, you what?
I have that Dream doc from him that has like 120 links. It's amazing.
You got it from him?
Yeah, he made it.
So that's what because it has all those guys in it. No wonder why that channel is so long. That explains a lot. I think I know what he did with it. So he went to the Dreamville server and he got them to, or he put like all the links and stuff from that, I think that guide, into a channel over there. It is one hell of a channel. It has a bunch of weird stuff. It's like it's not all lucid dreaming. There's some other stuff in there that I wouldn't personally go into, but it's a lot of links. And I'm thinking now that you mentioned that because first I thought you said Thunder. Someone was saying Thunderstrike, like Thunder, and we pinged him. I think at one point. And I'm thinking Thunderstrike, but no, Astral Thunder. If Astral Thunder gave that to you, that's a person who's no longer on Discord. They deleted their Discord account.
Okay, but let's back to comments because we've got a few now.
Oh, got you. By the way, Monty meant to say continent, but he said other side of the content.
Minor spelling mistake. Yeah, but he's from the west, and I'm from the east, so we're like the opposite side of Australia to each other. And also, Josh Will asks, do you have a harder chance to lucid dream if you have ADHD? Nope. Not really. But here's the thing though. People say it's not primarily harder, but I do think it can be harder to actually work on a technique, like or keep up or be consistent with something. But it shouldn't be that too much of a problem. As long as you put yourself and give enough effort, you should be fine.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm going to start doing what I'm doing right now. For those of you watching, I have the little button here that'll let me show which comment we're talking about in the broadcast. I can show a comment. So I can press this little button, and you guys will know exactly who we're answering when I do this.
Oh, yeah.
And we've caught up. Would you look at that?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, Astral Thunder. Oh, sorry. But back to was it Astral Thunder, the guy who's no longer on Discord, who gave you that doc?
Yeah, he did. He was on the server. I actually had the original Dreams doc. It was much smaller. It only had like maybe 50, 80 links, and then let's go
maybe
to the game on the server.
Maybe you should come onto the server and see what he put in that channel, because he put something in there, and there's a decent number of links in there. I don't know how many. If it's only 50, then it might be the
like 120. Yeah,
but either way, there are a lot of resources in there, and it was obviously pretty well updated because my mod guide was in there, so it must have been from at the earliest August of 2021.
Definitely. And also, hello, Synchronilius. God,
Synchronilius.
Synchronilius. Really?
Synchronilius. That's how my screen reader pronounces it. In fact, I do not believe he is on Discord, but he has followed my YouTube channel, and I believe was it Tifero's YouTube channel comments that we met. I think it was. It's going quite well. Thank you for showing up for the stream. People have their notifications on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool.
You are awesome, my friend. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah. Josh Will, does TV/electronics ruin your chance of lucid dreaming?
No.
At least,
no. Now, it depends on the person, I guess. Like, blue light can affect you trying to fall asleep. That's not ruining your chances of lucid dreaming. That just maybe makes it a little bit harder to fall asleep when you go to bed. But that's totally different. Also, it really depends on the person. Like, for me, I'm blind. Like, I could give a darn. I use my phone right at the moment I lay down. Seriously, though.
There should be a meme of you, what's called, just of this like ultra powerful character. And it's like, you fear the blue light, I revel in it.
Yeah, well, the sound bothers me. I want everything quiet when I sleep. No TVs on at 2 a.m. None of that stuff.
Yeah, I just use a what's called an orange light filter or a night light filter over my laptop and my phone, and it just makes everything slightly more orange, and it works fine. My melatonin still gets produced even if I'm looking at the screen.
So orange is the new blue.
Yeah, essentially.
Instead of blue light, you get orange.
Some people say it doesn't work, but it works for me. I don't know. I don't know about that.
I had to go there. Opportunity was just too good to pass this up.
Also, Synchronilius, if you have any questions, what's called to ask him away.
Please do. Although I think he's a little bit more advanced than the average person, because I have talked to him about a couple things before.
Oh, yeah? Well, I remember. It doesn't matter how advanced you are, you can always learn new stuff.
Yeah, Josh Will, it does sound like you've done a lot of learning from YouTube and stuff, and there's a really solid chance that a lot of what you think you know about techniques and things isn't actually true if you've been learning off of YouTube sources. So I just want to make you aware of that there's a lot of incorrect stuff out there, and if that's what you've been learning from, then there are a lot of things that you probably think you know, but you actually don't. And that's not like anything against you per se. Basically, every single one of us started there. especially people who
definitely.
started on Dream Cafe. We all started there, and we all had to learn, and it was a process for some of us. But I was started back in the day when people weren't actually teaching correct information on the Discord servers, and it took me like a couple weeks before I actually ran into people who actually knew what they were talking about. So I try to prevent that from happening to people nowadays. But it took a few
Just
months
as
to get that
typical.
started.
Yeah,
Yeah, learning off L, that's not a good idea. Just saying in general, that's
very
not a
bad
good
idea.
And he's not the only one either. Like I'd say 90% of YouTubers, especially the big ones, especially
Oh
the
yeah,
big
definitely.
ones.
It's just the L. It's just if you learn off L, he's gonna create all these rules that you follow that in lucid dreaming. It's like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Lucid dreaming is so extremely subjective.
All these maladaptive schemata. A maladaptive schema is a group of associations that you have that aren't helpful, that can actually be a hindrance to what you're trying to do or an obstacle. And basically things like don't close your eyes or you'll wake up, or don't get excited or you'll wake up, and things like that. Those are maladaptive schema. They're not helpful. They're not useful in any way. They don't do anything for anyone. All they do is create an expectation that you're going to wake up, which that will wake you up. Expecting to wake up 100%. That's going to wake you up. Getting excited, on the other hand, not so much. Mirrors don't have to be scary. All that kind of stuff.
It's like another thing of since it's so extremely subjective, there are no universal outcomes in lucid dreams. Fireball might be yellow, the size of a soccer ball, and dripping molten lava. It's called. While in another, for someone else, fireball would be purple, the size of a golf ball, and has fire lines floating around it. It will be completely different depending on the person. It all depends on the person entirely.
I'm curious, am I even visible right now?
No, it's just a black screen for you.
Yeah, the thing is, my camera's actually on. It's just there's no light, and I'm fine with that.
You're just sitting in the dark room.
So Synchronilius. Okay. So Synchronilius. Basically, aside from dream journaling, I'd like you to answer this. Aside from just dream journaling, what else do you do to improve dream recall? There are at least about 3 or 4 other things you can do. They are reviewing dreams before bed, setting intentions to remember your dreams, and Jacob here can testify that doing those two together is a great idea. Immediately when you wake up, dream delving, and then, of course, dream journaling. And you can also do wake back to bed just for recall. Those can be useful. There are multiple things you can do. Also, in terms of lucid dreaming techniques, what do you do? What techniques do you do? What practices do you do?
Yeah, it all depends.
Sometimes I answer questions with more questions. I want to get as much information as I can.
Oh, definitely. Vividity also. That's a strange thing for me. I don't know why, but after my dreams were never vivid to start off with. When I first started recalling, they weren't really vivid at all. But after 1 week of practicing, this was 8 months ago. Like first week I started practicing, even with misinformation. All I did was set intention to recall for bed and then dream journaled. And that actually worked really well because after the first week, all my dreams permanently became vivid as real life. There's no difference between them. I realize I'm more lucky than the average person when it comes to dream recall, which is nice.
You are. You and I both, actually. I started with getting dreams, like remembering dreams every day or 2 or 3, like no more than 2 nights without remembering dreams. And I jumped from that to I've remembered 8 and more in a night before. It's crazy, honestly.
Oh yeah, I get perfectly cool.
The time step for wake back to bed is really completely arbitrary. Also, if you're doing mild and wake back to bed, if you're doing wake back to bed, first of all, you should do another technique with it. Like you should do mild with it or do wild with it. Also, if you're doing mild or wild, you really should practice consistently every day for at least a month. Now, I would be interested to know, like, when you're doing mild, how exactly are you going about doing it? Like, what are you following in terms of material and guides or information for it? I would like to know that because there are a lot of people who claim they're teaching mild out there. What they're actually teaching is nowhere close. Mild has nothing to do with just repeating stuff to yourself. Mild is about setting an intention to recognize that you're dreaming and associating that intention with your dreams. So I'd be interested to know where you're learning it and like how you're doing it. Same with Wild, actually. I'd love to help like assess your practice and see if I can help you in any way. I'm not sure if you're on Discord. I think we've discussed this, and I don't know if you're on there. Otherwise, I would tell you to go to my DMs and I give you more personalized consultation there. But that's about the best I could do for the moment, at least.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, also, I wouldn't rule out long way back to beds though. Like because I do know someone who is struggling to do mild at all. Oh, it's called. And he really wanted to do mild because it would work really well for him. Sealed Orion, or I call him
I
Onion
know
at this
him.
point. But yeah, it's called. He actually does long way back to bed. It's like 30 minutes to maybe even an hour sometimes.
How long?
And
How often
he
does
said
he do those?
he only, I believe he just does it once a night, but
Once
he
a night.
actually that was worked for him. That's what like got him to start being consistent. And so if you're really struggling, like no matter what you do, and you're trying to do your technique and then just fall asleep, if it's just so hard to even do the technique or any of these problems, maybe experiment with trying a longer way back to beds. It's called like maybe staying up for 20 or 30 minutes
Yeah.
and see how that goes. But
Yeah,
that's only
long
if
way. Yeah.
really struggling.
Yeah, long week back to beds can actually be useful. Like, and then there's like the really long week back to beds, like the sleep the full on sleep interruption where you are up for like 3 hours or something, and those you really can't do more than like this. Those are really not recommended to do more than maybe once a week, or just because like that is kind of a more intense thing. But like 30-minute wake back to beds, yeah, you can do those just basically every day. You can do that every day if you can fall back asleep, you can do them.
Definitely. Ooh, two more comments.
They do get longer with practice, Monty. Your lucid dreams last only a minute or two. Something I should be doing? Do they get longer with practice? Yes, they do get longer with practice. A lot of times, a beginner tends to get lucid at the end of dreams, or also there can be an expectation thing there. You might be expecting to wake up if you're anxious in a dream. Like if you have any anxiety issues, like I do, anxiety can cause you to end up doing the opposite of whatever you're trying to do. So might be trying to do something, and then instead you just wake up. Like anxiety has caused that for me countless times, honestly. But normally they get longer with practice.
No, yeah, definitely. And another comment.
Okay. So you're not sure where you've learned it. Have you read by chance "Explore the World of Lucid Dreaming" by Dr. Stephen LaBerge, or checked out any other resources like that? Also, Jacob, I'm getting some sort of hiss, and I think that's on your end. Yeah, it's on your end.
Oh, what's going on?
I was getting a little hiss, a little hissing sound.
Wait, let me see if my house is going to blow up any second. I don't actually hear anything.
No, it's coming. It's coming through your connection. It's not like an actual thing. Anyway, so synchronilius. I'll just describe mild for you, like the way I tend to teach it. So, the steps I generally recommend are: decide that you're going to recognize that you're dreaming. So step one. It's a decision that you want to be important to you. So you decide you're going to recognize that you're dreaming. Then you imagine a previous dream, one you can remember well. Go through it from beginning to end. And while you're imagining that dream, find any dream signs that you can, as many as you can. Those are anything anomalous, unusual, abnormal, or out of place in any way, shape, or form. So find as many of those as you can while you go through the dream from beginning to end. And once you've gotten to the end of the dream, then you would basically pick any point in the dream, preferably one where you found a dream sign, because it works really, really well with this next bit. And you re-script the rest of the dream. From that point that you picked, you imagine that you recognized it was a dream and that you got lucid, that you know you're dreaming. And then you imagine doing things that you'd like to do, how that dream would have gone had you been lucid. What would you have done differently? What would you have actually done? And then you repeat that process for around 15 to 20 minutes, or however long you're comfortable with. 15 to 20 minutes is usually recommended as a decent amount of time, but it can really vary depending on the person and how comfortable they are with it, or like how much success they're able to get with it, things like that.
I only do 3 cycles, and that takes me like 5-8 minutes. I'm very fast when it comes to it. But also another thing is that after you explain like what you just said to people, sometimes they still don't get it, and started using this way of explaining. So a quick description is essentially you are just acting slash imagining what's called it out, becoming lucid in a past dream, and what would you do after becoming lucid? That's really essentially what you were doing.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, the whole thing
Right.
is kind of done in a specific purpose, and like the goal with it is, of course, to associate that your decision to recognize that you're dreaming with your actual dreams. So that way,
yeah.
when you are dreaming, it triggers that intention, that decision, and you remember it, and you notice something off, and you get lucid. That's the way that's generally supposed to work. So one of the things you do, like finding those dream signs, help. That's a bit of criticality in finding something out of place, learning to recognize those things in your own dreams, and then that can help you recognize something in the future. So then, and then you basically rescript the dream. It's like, okay, if I had been lucid, what would I have done differently?
Oh yeah, definitely. Mr. Mothman says, when I had my fourth LD, I tried to change the dream scene, but I wake up. When I tried, does that mean it was at the end of the dream anyway? Yes, it was. No, most
It
likely. I would say.
most likely the other thing could have been, if you're trying to change the dream scene, what was your emotional state at the time? Were you confident? Were you calm? Were you nervous, anxious? Were you doubting yourself? I mean, there are a variety of things that could be
Yeah.
there. There could be an emotional expectation that caused you to wake up. There could have been some doubt. There could have been some anxiety issue that maybe caused you to wake up. When you're trying to change that, could have just been the natural end of the dream. Happens a lot. My dream today ended in a phone call. 1:56 p.m. Have it in my phone records exactly when that dream ended.
Oh yeah. Actually, the lucid I just came out from a wild or accidental wild. Actually, while I was in it, I tried to get ask this dude who knows magic flight on me so I could fly around. But I was really anxious because I was looking for a specific thing in the dream, in the lucid, and so I was just like, "Come on, dude, do it faster, do it faster!" And he's trying as hard as he can, but he's just not working.
Yeah,
It's good. Then I wake up.
being
Yeah,
frantic
so
never
I was like,
solves anything.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Take it
frantic
from
and
me.
stuff.
I have at least I think 100 or more lucid dreams where I woke up because of anxiety, maybe more. Considering how many I have, that's a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It likely was your expectation of a short lucid. Like for me, Synchronilius, I had expectations of short lucid dreams for like 6 months. I had internalized the fact that this thing that lucid dreams are short. I started from underestimating how long they were, how long the actual dreams themselves were, and then I went from underestimating to actually just having really short lucid dreams. And of course, I have anxiety the whole time, so I'm waking up. So then I'm expecting to wake up when I get lucid. I'm expecting that I will wake up. That caused me to wake up so many times. It took me like 4 to 6 months to actually get over that. And even then, I still don't have lucid dreams that are longer than 20 minutes yet, usually. I think maybe one. So I haven't really gotten past that yet. So there's still work to be done. Synchronilius, you're confusing dream signs with recurring dream signs. Recurring dream signs are not relevant here. That's not what we're talking about. A dream sign is anything anomalous, unusual, abnormal, or out of place in any way, shape, or form, regardless of whether you've seen it in a previous dream. I should add that, since you're confusing it with recurring dream signs. Oh, you most certainly have dream signs. You may not have recurring dream signs, or you may not have found any yet, but you totally have them.
I actually should add the definition of recurring dream signs and just normal dream signs to my dream guide copy paste doc. So
That would
just
be good.
be ready. Oh yeah, definitely. I need to update it. It's been a while.
By the way, Google Documents were created by like the devil himself. I mean, the way they work with screen readers is absolutely abysmal. Not a fan.
Yeah, no one at Google is blind, so they just don't like blind
Actually, a
people.
lot of people with Google with blind. The problem is they're all in the C-suite.
Oh,
all the executives.
it's Google, man. It's Google. I love doing this voice. Whenever someone asks me, "Hey, why do you have blue tack over the front camera on your phone?" And I was like, "It's the government, man. It's the government." It always makes them like sigh and like face palm. because they actually think I'm being serious. It's hilarious watching their
I
reactions.
sound like someone who immigrated to the United States in the 1960s.
I sound like a nutty conspiracy theorist. It's the
You do.
aliens, man.
You sound like a hippie who immigrated to the United States in the 60s.
Bro, I got
Other government
abducted by
conspiracy.
aliens, man. The government's in on it, bro.
It was like, you see that crop circle, dude? That was like, whoa! Like they actually kidnapped me, man.
They got that whoa. They don't say whoa. They say whoa. They like wobble their voice.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
I love like people who are like high or stuff. They say some of
Oh,
the weirdest
man.
shit. It's like people on
Everything we say is
anesthesia.
being broadcast to anyone who could be listening in the future. This is hilarious.
Damn, you know, Dream Cafe's been such chaos. Called like for the past few days. I would say ever since the staff applications were released, people just lost their minds, and like chat's never been on topic. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Uh,
It's been crazy.
oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know, maybe people are like going crazy of the staff apps, but my god, it is just cool. It's so hard to help anyone when no one's asking questions.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. Hmm.
Oh,
Also,
man.
I need to fix my sleep schedule. It is just not doing well right now.
Oh, what time did you go to bed?
I last night I went to bed at like 12:30 or something.
That's not bad.
I have to go to sleep at 10 to get 8 hours of sleep during school.
Oh, nice. Your school
Yeah.
season sucks. I'm out of school. Like all these other people who've been talking about taking exams, and it's like, my exams are done in early May. I was done on May 3rd. And I was on a plane
Oh,
on May 7th. That was fun.
yeah. Oh, two comments. A new person.
Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. What night practice, so we said before bed technique, we call those night practices, do you recommend for beginners who haven't lucid dreamed? Well, there are several. You can do mild, wild, SSLD. Those are the normal night practices. Now, wild and SSLD are generally require using wake back to bed as well, which I just recommend doing as a matter of course, regardless of what night practice you're doing. If you're a member of the Dream Cafe server, we have guides in the Lucid FAQ channel. If you're on OmniLucid, they're in the resources channel. I'm not sure which server you're on, but we have resource guides everywhere. I would recommend using those and not YouTube as a general source of information because most of what you'll find, I think about 90+% of content from creators on lucid dreaming specifically is going to be inaccurate, especially larger ones. Just in general, that's a pretty good general rule to follow because most of them say the same stuff and it's wrong. So
Yeah.
there are a few exceptions to the rule, but a lot of them say the same things and they're wrong.
Yeah. Also, when talking to a beginner, like when a beginner asks what's good tech to do, oh, it's good. I always say the three main night techs, which is mild, wild, SSILD, and then the only day tech I ever recommend is SAT. I am not gonna try and recommend them to do ADA. I think ADA is much easier to do once you've had like a lot of lucid dreams. It's much easier to understand that self-awareness. I'd say once you've experienced it enough.
Yeah. The lucid dreaming chat is supposed to be about lucid dreaming. Monty's sacrilegious, heretical statements will be punished at the utmost ecclesiastical methods of excommunication.
Josh will is way back to bed a technique or a tool. It is actually a booster. People think it's a what's called technique, but it's actually not. And a lot of people keep confusing it with wild. They think it's the same
I would
thing.
call it a tool. It is something that makes other things work more effectively, and that makes lucid dreaming work more effectively. I call it a tool. It's not an in itself of getting you lucid per se, but it does make other things a lot more effective. So yeah, I'd call it a tool.
Yeah, and
It is
also
a very good
I know.
tool to use.
Yeah, I also know that I have a problem with the wild guide in the Lucid FAQ on Dream Cafe, because the problem is the reason why we keep getting people who are confusing wild and way back to bed is because of that guide. The guide's good, but the person who made the guide, McKissick, she didn't actually specify like she didn't actually like separate both things together. She put them together like it was part of the steps.
Mizik, not McKissick. Mizik.
Mizik. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
it's dying. Yeah, but I really want that to be remastered and separated.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I have what's called correctia syndrome. So every time you say something that is incorrect, I have to correct you. Well, I have that bad one. I just have a chronic terminal case of correctia syndrome.
I gotta say though, in my entire time being a dream guide, and even my time before being dream guide, I've actually there's been very little times where I've actually been wrong in what I've said, like the
Not
advice
many.
I've given. Yeah, not that many compared to some other people, like Purple Dreamer. That dude is just, I'm so disappointed.
Hi
I am.
there, my pleasure. But yeah,
Mm,
I think most of the times that you've been wrong about something has just been omissions, not like actual inaccuracies. And a lot of people,
mm,
there are plenty of people who do that too.
yeah, it's crazy. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I guess said, if you're doing Wake Make Bed, definitely do another technique with it, like Milder, Wilder, SSLD, like we discussed earlier. Um,
Mm,
I discussed with the other guy rather. Josh, is it Josh Wills?
yeah, just
I think
will.
it was. Don't want to mess his name up, Josh Will. Yeah,
Mm,
but yeah, in natural way back to bed, sim intention is also a thing. Hi there, it's something that a lot of people use. For me, I don't need anything because I just naturally wake up regardless. Have been for years, long before I knew what lucid dreaming was. So that's just part of my
mm.
life, and so it's something I do all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mm. That's cool. Like Sensei, he's also if you don't know Sensei, he's what's called he's a very popular person on Dream Cafe and Omni Lucid, and just in the lucid dreaming community as well. He's like a Omni, or is he still Omni? I don't know if he hasn't gone non lucid yet ever since quitting, but he's pretty popular. He's really good at helping people, but he's actually the profile picture I have currently right now. Which is hilarious. But he actually has 6 back to beds, just like Skyfall. But I believe he got them through not naturally. He had them through intention, and he just has them permanently now. He doesn't have to work on them. From what he told me.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I've achieved 1/6 of that actually.
Yeah, there are a lot of nights where I'll end up with 6 back to beds, depending on when I went to bed and my sleep schedule.
Mm. Oh yeah, definitely. It's crazy stuff. Oh, and just, actually, speaking of Sensei, he's actually opening up. He just opened up his Patreon about like helping people with lucid dreaming, and I don't know what. I'm not very. I think it's a little dumb, in my opinion. Like, Sensei's good and all, but I don't think I don't think a Patreon makes any sense. Hmm. Just strange. Of course, it could be helpful to some people. Oh, Skyfall, you there? Did you die out already? Oh, people, looks like Skyfall is dead for a second. Mm. I'll just still answer the questions. Mr. Monty Man, it's called. When I try to wake back to bed, I can't fall asleep or fall back to sleep. Well, if depends on how long you stay up. If you just wake up and you stay up for like 30 minutes or something like that, not a very good idea. If you can't fall back to sleep, I would say it's like a more of a balancing game. Oh shit, Skyfall left. Well, at least I'm still here. When I Yeah, so if you stay up for like 30 minutes but you can't fall back to sleep, you should try and stay up a little bit less. Or also try up just doing your technique and then falling asleep. And if you wake up and you're doing wild, just do wild instantly as soon as you wake up. It's called, and see how that goes. You know, should work. I wonder where Skyfall is right now. His internet probably died out. Happens a few times. Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, this is very true now. Oh,
I,
Skyfall, you're back finally.
my internet decided it was a great time to say go yourself.
Yeah.
I had to censor myself there for a second because my opinion of my internet is less than stellar, and I'm going to get on my dad about getting Emporium out here because of how many times it's been dropping every day, basically every day for the past couple of years. Almost, it feels like it's god awful. The new extenders, the new mesh network we have isn't doing jack to help it. There's an issue somewhere with the router or the modem, and it definitely shouldn't be the router. That thing is brand franking new. We got that thing a week and a half, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. Maybe. Honestly. I
It's
set the
all
dang thing up
conspiracy,
myself.
Skyfall. It's all conspiracy.
I set the dang thing up myself, and I know how. So, it basically the only thing you really have to do to set it up is set the network names and passwords. That took all of like 2 minutes.
Oh, I already answered Mr. Montman's question about Wegbeck's bed, and Montman just said this is Jacoba's stream now.
All right.
Just like Australian internet's, my internet's great actually. My internet never dies out. It's always going pretty fast speeds. Maybe it's just you Westerners in the Australian West.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys just have terrible internet. It's crazy. Oh, you seem to be offline on Discord now.
I know. I logged off of Discord. I closed it to make it like a little bit easier.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's crazy. How long have we been going? We're already 41 minutes in. That's crazy. Already partly in there. Yeah, but what I was actually talking about, I was talking to you about Sensei's Patreon.
I know.
You died out.
I honestly need to start my own. I just don't. The only thing I think I would provide on there probably is early release of videos, maybe by a week or two, and private and like 2 tiers of membership. So one where you get early access to videos, and one where you can get personalized lessons. That would be the kind of service I could provide.
Honestly, I'm a little bit not of a fan of it because the problem is that one thing it's actually a lot for like some of the perks you get are just not worth it for the money from Sensei's Patreon. And also the problem is that that means he can't actually help people that much while on Dream Cafe. He wants to help someone, but he can't because they're not part of his Patreon. I think that'll be a bit of a problem. You know. I just think it's a little bit dumb. It's got like for YouTubers it makes sense. They're producing a lot more content, but like essentially the Patreon for Sensei is just answering questions and maybe more personalized. But you can already do that just in Discord. It's very simple.
But yeah, I think it really depends on what you're getting offered and what the perks are for the person that's doing it. I do think private personalized instruction is something that could be sold, like not having to compete for attention in chats or wait in DMs, but like have actual times, maybe like live one-on-one coaching, where you could have actual set appointments and meet with people, and then you can work with them at certain times, and they pay you for that. I honestly might prefer to do that on a by appointment basis, though, in terms of actually schedule time out and then have people meet with me to discuss lucid dreaming, and then they pay by the hour or by the appointment, and then I could do it like that and create a consultation thing. Maybe like I could do something like that, and it would be live, like it would be on demand, live, personalized. Sort of, here's what you're doing, break down everything, and you're the only person I pay attention to for an hour or whatever, how much time we use. Now that's something I might do.
I think it would only work if like the person like Sensei or you, if you actually open up your Patreon, the person you sit down with, you actually have an entire folder, and it's like all this information you're collecting while they're talking.
I would probably end up having to make notes about each individual case. Like each individual person would get their name, notes, here's what they've practiced, here's what they've done, things of that nature. Then try to work from there as like a personal coach type deal. And then I could check up on them, like, did you do X, Y, or Z, or what happened, or, do stuff like that. But like do that either on a by appointment basis, like on demand, or on a monthly basis for fee. I said I'd want to be careful with how many appointments I'd get for a flat rate, because at some point it could end up not being worth it for the person doing it. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really depends.
And then Mr. Moment says, well, you live in the city, and West Australia is in the middle of nowhere. I don't live in the city. I live in the suburbs, the quiet suburbs. You know, so it's cool. And I know some people have absolute shit internet, and actually, they're absolutely terrible internet, and they live near me. That's cool, but it's just I don't know. My family just got us on a good plan. Of course, Australia is just going to hell right now. To absolute hell because power prices are surging like crazy.
Yeah,
But
and
no,
gas prices all over the world. And
yeah, Ukraine war. It's crazy.
you know, in the well, not just Ukraine war. You know, in the United States, our gas prices are hitting over $5 a gallon national average for the first time ever.
Damn, this is crazy. Must
Yeah,
be.
our government doesn't give a dang, and they are actively encouraging domestic energy production. So here's what our actually we're gonna cease that conversation. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
Honestly,
definitely.
this is not something that should really be discussed on my live streams. I feel like just for a minute there, we got a little too personal.
Oh yeah.
Um, we should probably
Well, it's
keep
good for
these types of
honestly.
discussions to private communications. Just saying.
Definitely.
Anyway, are there any
So
more questions? Like,
yeah,
let me see
actually.
who's even watching.
Mm.
3 people still. Wow, that's a huge number. It makes me feel like it's 2 in the morning again when I did a live stream at 2 in the morning once.
Yeah.
It feels a lot like that. Except I think I had 7 people on that one at one point at 2 in the morning.
I think maybe some people left after you died out, and they thought the thing ended. It's cool.
Uh,
What they don't realize is that you're back.
I connected on my cell phone.
Yeah. Mr. Moment just says, I don't have many questions. I've only had 5 lucid dreams. Wait, did I just see you on Dream Cafe and it said you only had 3? Did you even update your LD count? Let me see.
You've only had 5 lucid dreams. You don't have any questions though. About practice or about techniques or about anything. And if he's one of the 3 people listening, who are the other 2?
Yeah, actually. Is it basketball or did he leave? No idea.
I have no idea.
But we really, it'll be really nice to have like 12 or 11 people. That'd be pretty good.
My record is I think 15.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That would be a barn
Oh.
burner. That would be amazing.
Hi there is hi. It says hi. Yeah,
Hi.
so he's
Yep.
had
Hi
too.
there, Mounty. And there's one other lurker.
Lucky boy.
Yeah. Things done be crazy. Anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and end.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd like to thank you for showing up, Jacob. I'd like to thank everybody else. Have a good one, everyone.
Yep.
And I wish you all the best. Thank you all for watching. And have a good night.